Hello friends, in this first video of the series, Aspects of Awakening, we are going to be describing to you what it is that you are as humans. This description comes from our perspective, a higher vibrational perspective. In a certain way, it's like having a bird's eye view of each and every one of you and of your collective energy as humanity on Earth. In the first instance, what it is to be human is to be experiencing through the perspective, through the gaze of limitation. Now, this can be understood as being a negative thing, but in fact, it's just a neutral, mechanical fact about what it is to be experiencing life currently on your planet as a human. Let me explain. Humans are experiencing what is in existence, everything that exists, but through the lens of believing that only certain things can exist. So many of you have taken on beliefs such as only physical things that I can physically see that are a certain level of density, meaning a certain level of limitation, a certain level of constriction, exist. For example, you might think that things like the beings that are translucent or can't be seen with the eyes but still exist, or other energies that don't manifest in a physical form in your reality, like what you have called ghosts, various other beings and energies, all of the beings and energies in fact that exist on higher vibrational planes that don't manifest in the same physical way as you. Many of you have learned that they do not exist. But the limitation, this is just an example, the limitation is much deeper and much broader than that. Because really it has been taught to you that only what you can perceive with the eyes at the level that they're evolved to currently exists, literally, many of you. And so you don't even have the opportunity to decide how to feel about other facts of the universe that are in existence, because you have been taught that they are not in existence. Yes. You've also been taught that many of your feelings, your energies, your true expressions, your true relationships, connections that you could be having because of your more authentic, true expression and feeling and allowing yourself to flow. You've been taught that many of these are invalid, do not belong to creation, and so you have been, again, limited to how you can experience a physical reality experience by all of these different limitations. What you are now being invited by us and other higher vibrational beings, and by where you are in this moment in your history, what you are being invited to open to is what that limitation means about who you really are. This is an important way of expressing this, because it is not that the limitation is going to stop you from having an awakening experience. It's that becoming aware of the limitation is already the awakening experience, because once you are aware that there is a limitation, you are aware that there is something that is being limited that is beyond the limitation. Otherwise, it would just be the boundary of existence. It would not be a limitation. And so as you become aware of this experience of limitation, both in what you've been experiencing as existing and in what you've been experiencing as expressing and being in yourselves, you are becoming aware of what it is to be human in both senses, both as the being that is limited and as the being that has awoken to being an unlimited being having a limited experience. From our perspective, that is what is happening on a large scale at the moment in humanity. Many of you, when you first discover the limitation, the negative beliefs, the constriction, the things that you've been taught that don't exist, that in fact do, many of you have a response of, oh no, this is terrible, because you are for the first time witnessing this level of negativity, this level of mechanical negativity, limitation on creation that has been the human experience. And that is part of the process, and that is, of course, important and good and okay. At the same time, recognizing that really being able to see that negative mechanism and that limitation is actually a positive part of awakening to the fact that you are more than this, and that this is a part of what has been the experience, but it is not, in fact, the fullness of what can be the experience of being a human. You can use this in this positive way. You can see and understand this in this positive way, because this is, in fact, true from our perspective, that this realization is a positive thing and that it's a part of this positive awakening process. And so to bear that in mind as you awaken to some of the things that have been experienced as limitations in your societies, in your collective of beings, and to let yourselves really bear witness to the level of limitation that you have had the power to experience, the power to bear with. Many of you who have chosen to stay here and to bear with these limitations, and really using this from our perspective truth, that the moment you recognize a limitation that you personally have been experiencing or witnessing is the moment that you recognize that it is no longer the truth, and the moment that you recognize that you're already free from that limitation, because you are now no longer viewing it as the truth, but are understanding that's a limitation on the perspective of creation, which is unlimited. As you continue to unfold in the years to come, you will still have the experience of limitation, but you will start to understand how to work with limitation to allow you to experience the power of who you are through the lens of physical reality. And this is something that can be very, very satisfying, very, very freeing, and very, very empowering. And so we leave you with this at the end of this first video. Do not let yourself become so overwhelmed by the awakening to the limitation that you do not recognize what it means about who and what you are. With all of my love and the love of the beings that are joining us in this transmission, I wish you well and look forward to the next video with you.